G'day guys, how's it going? My name is AussieTash. I have come across an absolute fantastic channel. It's called Canadiana. Fantastic channel, guys. I recommend you check it out. It's got some great shorts. We're going to learn about some great history of Canada today. So let's go with episode number 1.
This is Yukon, the Canadian North.
Oh my God. Just take
For
your
much
breath
of the
away,
year,
eh?
this land is buried under snow and ice, plunged into darkness. It's a land of caribou and of moose. And thousands of years ago, camels.
Okay, I want to see how the
In
camels
fact,
got
it was
there.
here in the frigid north,
It's too
that the
cold.
most iconic of all desert animals first evolved. And some of the evidence was discovered down there.
Oh, look at that view, would you? My gosh.
Meet the Western camel.
The
It was like
Western
a
camel.
big dromedary, and some of its fossilized bones have been discovered at a gold mine right near this spot on Hunker Creek, just outside Dawson City. It was actually incredibly common in North America during the last ice age, and its range extended all the way south to Mexico.
Wow.
But during one of the warm periods, when glaciers didn't cover this land, it made it all the way up here to Yukon too. Still, that's where it stopped.
So there's
About
gold
11,000
and
years ago,
camels.
it went extinct.
Yeah.
But the Western camel wasn't the only camel to call the Canadian North home. There was
Wow.
another, even older one.
That's a big beast, isn't it?
Meet the Yukon giant camel.
The
It was
Yukon
30%
giant camel.
bigger than camels are today, and it
Wow.
lived here millions of years ago.
Imagine all
Its
the gold that was
fossils have
back
been
then.
found across the Canadian North, from here in Yukon all the way to Ellesmere Island in the high Arctic. And the world was a warmer place back then.
Absolutely, yeah.
The far
Much
north
warmer.
was home to boreal forests. But even still, it was a very cold place. The average temperature was below freezing. So the camel needed special adaptations to deal with those harsh realities of the Canadian winter. It developed big hooves that allowed it to walk across the snow.
Okay.
And to get it through those winters where there was so little to eat, it developed a giant hump. That's where it stored fat reserves, which it could draw on when there weren't enough other resources. And
That's
this
pretty cool,
camel
isn't it?
didn't stop here. It kept going.
Nice.
Those giant Canadian camels eventually moved across the Bering Land Bridge into Asia.
See, there was no water then. It was still
continuing to
land. So,
evolve
yeah.
over millions and millions of years. And their modern descendants have discovered that those big feet and humps originally evolved for life in the frigid north are also very helpful if you're trying to walk across sand or survive in the scorching heat of an arid climate.
Absolutely.
Camels, masters of the desert, were originally masters of the snow.
That's a very cool story. Guys, jump on, leave a comment. Did you know that camels come from Canada? Have you seen any fossils at a museum? Do they have them in Canada? Jump on, share your stories, let me know. Okay, let's keep on going. A tomb in Hyde Park.
This is where a guy named John Howard used to live. It's called Colburn Lodge, one of 10 museums run by the city of Toronto. Howard was an important figure in the history of the city, a painter, surveyor, and architect who designed a lot of buildings around town, including this one. And in the 1870s, he was working on a morbid new project. It's just over here. This is the Howard's tomb. John's wife, Jemima, had fallen seriously ill.
Oh,
She had breast cancer and didn't have long to live. John was determined to build her somewhere impressive to spend eternity and to
my.
protect her from the grave robbers who plagued the city. This stone cairn weighs 10 tons and is sealed with cement. But the most fascinating part of the fortifications is this fence. It's more than 300 years old, older than the city itself. And that's possible because this fence wasn't made in Toronto. It originally stood outside St. Paul's Cathedral in London, England.
How'd
Both
it
the
get
church
there?
and its fence were designed by the famous architect Sir Christopher Wren all the way back in the 1700s.
Have a look at
But
that.
more than a century later, as the cathedral grounds were being renovated, the fence was going to be destroyed. That's when John Howard stepped in. When he heard about the plans, he decided to save the historic fence from ruin. He bought it and arranged to ship it all the way to Canada.
It took the whole fence. That's really
But the
cool,
journey
man.
was a dangerous one, and on the way to Toronto, the ship carrying the fence met with disaster. It sank in the St. Lawrence River, and the fence sank with it.
So how do you get the fence? This is really, really strange.
Howard refused to give up.
Oh my
He spent
gosh.
2 years preparing to salvage the fence from the bottom of the St. Lawrence River.
No
He
way.
paid divers a small fortune to go down and get it, or at least as much as they could. Sadly, not all the fence survived, but this is the bit that did.
This is a cool story,
300-year-old
man.
fence from half a world away, standing guard over the Howard's tomb.
Oh.
There's even a poem on a metal plate affixed to the gate, a reminder of its origins and a cry against those who neglect history in favor of more fleeting concerns. St. Paul's Cathedral for 160 years I did enclose. Oh, stranger, look with reverence. Man, man, unstable man. It was thou who caused the severance. There's something else the Howards left behind, too. They gave their land as a gift to the people of Toronto
Oh
to
my
be turned
gosh.
into a public park. And so today, the land around Colborne Lodge is known as High Park. And it's
Oh,
become one of the most famous
what a
public
beautiful
places
park.
in Canada.
Oh, look at the maple leaf there. Oh my gosh. That was so romantic. How much money did this guy have, man? To bring over the fence from London, to go down and get pieces of it that had sank to the bottom of the river, and then they left the park to the people of Toronto. Guys, jump on. Tell me your stories about this park.
This is Lake Bennett. We're in the northern reaches of British Columbia, just a few kilometers from Yukon, in the middle of the Coast Mountains.
Beautiful that looks.
We've come here because this is where you find the ghost town of Bennett. It's so remote, there's not even a road to this place.
So
But
beautiful.
120 years ago, this Canadian ghost town is where Donald Trump's grandfather made the family fortune
There you go.
as a pimp.
A pimp.
His name was Fred Trump. He was born in Germany and moved to the United States as a teenager. He
Okay.
was a barber in New York, a restaurateur in Seattle.
Mhm.
But when the Klondike Gold Rush began, he was lured north into Canada to make his
Okay.
fortune.
Mm-hmm.
Trump arrived in the summer of 1898. Bennett was a booming stop on the Chilkoot Trail,
What's on the
the
Yukon?
death-defying route to the gold fields of the Klondike. Many people didn't even make it this far. They froze to death in these icy mountains, or were
Oh.
crushed by avalanches, or turned back in fear. But
Wow.
those who did survive stopped here on the shores of Lake Bennett to chop down trees and turn them into makeshift boats and rafts that would carry them down the raging Yukon River toward the gold.
Don't you
Those
love the old
adventurers
footage?
became Trump's customers, together with a shady business partner who would later be arrested after an orgy and jewelry heist gone wrong. He
Okay.
opened the new Arctic restaurant and hotel. On the menu, you would find the finest food Bennett had to offer: moose, goose, caribou, even swan meat.
Wow.
But the real money was in booze and
Mhm.
sex.
Oh,
The
yeah.
new Arctic hotel was also a brothel. The newspapers warned respectable women to avoid Trump's hotel. It was notorious for foul language and depravity.
This doesn't
Rooms
surprise me
advertised
at all,
private
man.
boxes for ladies and parties, the sex work code of the day. Each
Wow.
room came with a bed and with a scale for weighing the gold that was used to pay for what happened in the bed. Business was good. Thousands of travelers came through Bennett that summer, and the vast majority were men, lonely and far from home. By the time Trump left the North, just 3 years later,
He was.
he'd made nearly $500,000.
Of course
in
he
today's
did.
money. It was the beginning of the Trump family fortune.
Oh my
One day,
gosh.
that money would help to propel Fred Trump's grandson into the White House.
Ay.
But it all started here, in a brothel in BC.
Okay, guys, hands up if you are not surprised at all that the Trump fortune originated from their family owning a brothel. They didn't go there for the gold. They went there to make money in the sex industry. Okay, that was the video for today. I really enjoyed them. I hope you guys are liking this series. If you did, please jump on, smash the like button, leave a comment, and of course remember to subscribe. That really helps me out. Cheers from down under. Take care. Bye.